poor drying, high moisture content are causes of high post-harvest losses in Ghana. Thankfully, new technology is being explored to safeguard our farm produce. There's more in this report filed by Prince Appiah.
24-year-old Emmanuel Ofori is a maize farmer whose 4-acre land is due for harvesting. He cultivates yellow corn because of its high demand and prices in recent times.
With this farm, I will harvest, dry them well, and store until maize is scarce on the market. Then I sell them. Now, a bucket is 25 cedis, but I will wait and sell at 30 cedis in the lean season. Now, the bucket is 25.
The biggest headache, perhaps for Emmanuel and other farmers in Ghana, arise after harvesting. That's the drying and storage. Large quantities of farm produce goes bad when these are poorly handled, depending on the weather, leaving the farmer with little for only subsistence after all the sweat and toil. Statistics show at least 30% of farm produce in Ghana goes waste annually. Senior lecturer at the Department of Agricultural Engineering, Joseph Opoon-Akowa, explains why it is so.
These moisture content is the amount of water in the produce. At harvest, it is about 25 thereabout. And so what it means is that because the water is in the maize, you cannot keep it for a long time, so you have to dry it. And so we can talk about drying losses. So you're not able to dry it effectively. So you cannot store this produce for a long time. So one has to do with lack of technology in this sense. You are talking about drying, facilities. And this has been a major challenge, particularly because most of our farmers are smallholder farmers who obviously may not have the means to afford these big drying systems that are centralized in their communities. So one way we can avoid or prevent post-harvest losses is to make, small drying facilities that are not so expensive available to these farmers.
All right. So that was the report filed by Prince Appiah, and that has won him some special recognition. Prince joins us via Zoom. If you can unmute your Zoom, Prince, so we can have that conversation. First of all, how does it feel to be given special recognition for this story?
Yeah, Daryl, it feels very good. I'm very excited about it. I'm happy that the work that we do are all the time being recognized.
That's exciting to hear, and congratulations to you. But let's move to the story itself, the difficulties farmers have when it comes to storing their produce. Post-harvest losses are on the high. And so you have been engaging them, at least you did in that report. What do they tell you about their challenges?
So the main challenge is the kind of investment they've had to put into their production all year round. And at the end of the day, they watch these investments go to waste because they are unable to get proper drying mechanisms to dry these crops for storage so that they can sell when the market is good for such crops to be sold, like maize, for instance. And most often they see their crops destroying, I should say. It gets spoiled because it is left in the mercy of the weather, and because there are no means of processing or storing them for future market, or making them more better for consumption or for the market. So it is a worrying thing that anytime you engage them, you get from the farmers.
So thankfully, you reported on this drying technology that could actually help the farmers. Tell me about this technology and why we need to invest more in such technology to help us reduce those numbers when it comes to post-harvest losses.
So there are two technologies that were featured in the story. One is the grain meat by one Sesi Technologies. He is based in Kumasi. And the other one is a solar dryer. That is also manufactured by a local producer who is based in Idra. So I put the two together. And the first one, the grain meat, ensures that the moisture content of the grains, all types of grains, are reduced to the internationally accepted standards that keeps the grain for a longer period of time for storage. And then the solar dryer also looks at how the mechanism can use solar to dry these grains after harvesting so that they can be stored for a longer period of time for processing and other things that they need to be used for, so that at least the farmer can also benefit from their investment after they're unable to sell immediately after harvesting.
Great, great. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight, and congratulations once again on your special recognition for story. Great job, Prince.